Well, is everybody here hooked up and ready to go?
Ready to go.
I am the one running late. Let me shut down and pull up the other. Carrie, are you on? I don't see you. There you are. Carrie, thanks for your help. Okay, how's everybody?
Very good.
Good.
Doing great.
Staying alive.
Okay, sorry about this. We're running about 2 minutes late. Let's get rolling. All right, I'll now call the official board meeting for Palo Verde College Board of Trustees for May 12th, 2020 to order. Be known, Palo Verde College Board of Trustees welcomes you to this board meeting today. While our community is under public meeting restrictions and stay-at-home orders issued by all state and local authorities, our board meetings will be accessible to members via the public via Zoom, telephone, and YouTube live streaming. Board members will be participating from remote locations, and there is no physical location from which the members of the public may attend. Any public comments received via email up to 1/2 hour before the start of the meeting will be read into the record by the meeting moderator. These temporary modifications of the meeting law have been authorized by executive order from the governor. Until further notice, our board meetings will be held in this manner. Our board is committed to the continued education and safety of the students, faculty, staff, and community stakeholders. We thank you for your patience and understanding during this difficult time, and we will now begin our normal meeting. So please rise and repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one
One
nation.
nation, under God.
Under God,
Liberty.
All right. Well, thank you all for that. And here we go. Are you there? Carrie,
Yes.
your roll call, please.
Mr. Arneson,
Ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Here.
Mr. Hyduke,
Here.
Mr. Ramirez,
Here.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Here.
Ms. Myers,
Here.
Dr. Thomas,
here.
Mr. Lal,
Here.
Dr. Wallace,
Here.
Dr. Bauer,
Here.
Ms. Slagan.
Here.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll now entertain a motion for the approval of the board meeting of April 14th, 2020.
I move.
I've got a motion.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have minutes. Moving right along. I'll now entertain a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda.
Move to approve.
I've got a motion.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Outstanding. We now have an agenda. Okay, are there any board members that need to recuse themselves from any board item agenda this evening?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Okay,
I have a
Dr.
personal, you ready?
yes.
I have a personal non-financial interest in Palo Verde Lodge number 37, and therefore, in order to avoid a conflict of interest under California common law and the district board policies and procedures, I recuse myself from agenda item 7.5, real estate purchase agreement, CDC property. George Thomas.
The board notes a recusal. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Hearing. Moving right along. Segment number 2, hearing of citizens on agenda items. Ms. Millian, do we have any?
None submitted.
Okay, well, all right. Brings us down to section number 3, reports. CCA, CCT, Mr. Smith, present, or your designee?
Mr. Smith notified me that he has class at this time and will not participate.
Okay. And no designee, we're good? Hearing none. Academic Senate, Hortensia Rivera, or your designee.
Hi, it's Sarah Frid again.
Sarah, how you doing? Sorry about that.
Good. That's okay. It's totally fine. So for today's board report, first of all, I want to say good evening, and I hope everyone is continuing to stay safe and healthy. I would like to report that faculty are continuing to work extremely hard with students and finishing this semester as strong as possible. We have found a greater reach to our students as the college has extended the communication with our community. And we would especially like to recognize the following college-wide efforts. First of all, Jacqueline Randall and her weekly emails to students that serve as a check-in from the college, as well as a list of resources for ongoing student support. Also, the regular newspaper articles that highlight PVC's changes in business and student support during the shutdown. All the awesome laptop and hotspot giveaways to students. That's incredible. The ongoing EOPS, DSPS, and general counseling with their academic and mental health resources. The incredible work that instructional services technicians have been doing supporting or sorting and mailing all the correspondence work between faculty and students. And finally, the mailboxes that were set up at Albertsons and Smart and Final, just such a brilliant moment of just genius, I think, and putting those in. And at today's academic senate meeting, we discussed how important these are, and it was suggested that we actually acquire a few more if possible. Not all students have transportation to get to the east side of Blythe, and so if it's possible, we'd like to suggest that maybe we have a box at Starbucks or Ace or somewhere on the west side, and maybe one in Ripley as well. Additionally, as an update on the work that we've been doing in Academic Senate, we've been working really hard on 2 new distance education policies for the upcoming College Council meeting, with the hopes that it will be before this body for the June board meeting. These policies are the distance education no-show process and the distance education regular effective contact policy, and they come expediently from the recommendations of the accreditation visiting team that was here in March. And the Academic Senate has been worked really hard to move expediently but without sacrificing significant thoughtful discussion and research to get these policies in place. And finally, we have begun working with administration to plan appropriately for the fall term so that there's as little disruption as possible for both students and faculty in the event that we'll need to deviate from our normal business practices, either from the get-go at the beginning of the term or at some point after it's already begun. The Academic Senate wants to do our part to prevent future student withdrawal and ensure ongoing support and rigor in our courses. Thank you so much, and that concludes my report.
Nice, Sarah, thank you very much. All right. CSEA, Chapter 180, President Richard Soto or his designee. Hearing none, moving right along. All right, Associate Student Government, Sunil.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, sir.
Yes. So basically, we're doing our ASU meeting on Zoom as well. So we had one last week and we had one this week. And we're trying to keep the time same as Tuesday, 11 o'clock. So pretty much we have nothing because there's nothing we can do. We cannot go on campus and help anyone or do anything. But as far we are getting ready for next year, so we're getting the packages out if the people are interested in running for student government for next semester. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Dr. Wallace.
That's my report.
Thank you, sir.
So I have about 5 items to report on. Some of you probably know some of these already, but just for the record, the Riverside County Board of Supervisors on May 8th, which I believe was last Friday, voted unanimously to rescind the COVID-19 related orders from their public health department in lieu of the statewide orders that have been in place by Governor Newsom and the California Department of Public Health. The result of that, it removes the mandatory closure from all of the colleges in Riverside County, including Palo Verde College. That puts Palo Verde College on the same footing as most of the other colleges, community colleges in the state. There are about, from a survey that we did here, about maybe 4 counties that had a closure order for their colleges. Out of 44 counties that we got data back from, out of the 58 counties in the state, only 5, including us, but now we are not under that order, thank God. And we're now on equal footing with the rest of the colleges, most of the rest of the colleges in California. That allows PVC, like most of the other colleges in the state, to have some limited interaction of students on campus. We think that's really important if, for example, our nursing students, if they needed to have a sim lab, some hours in the sim lab that they could not do under a college closure, now they could do that. And I'm not certain where the nursing department is, but this opens up the opportunity for us to allow some limited student interaction on campus to complete a course or a program and graduate that they might not have been able to do otherwise. We're very, very thankful for Manny Perez and the county supervisors for unanimously voting 5-0 to overturn those more restrictive orders from the public health department. It also removes the mandatory wearing of masks, which Riverside County had put in place. And I might say a number of other counties had that as well. It leaves the wearing of masks up to the individual. However, businesses may still require anyone who enters their business to wear a mask. And so I haven't been out in town since that happened, but people are telling me that Albertsons and some of those are still requiring it. So carry your mask with you. Some of you might want to wear it all the time, but in case you don't, carry it with you just in case. We have not made any determination about whether we're going to relax. We don't think we're going to, but whether we're going to relax the mandatory wearing of masks on campus. We're still talking about that. If it was just our employees, I would probably make it optional. But occasionally we have somebody walk into the campus from the outside, and we probably need to maintain on the door saying you must be wearing a mask to enter this facility. So, but we have not made that decision yet. It keeps in place the stay-at-home order that the governor had put in place in March, and the social distancing. We're still trying to get a handle on the mass gatherings, the mass meetings. We think at this point that the last order that came from the public health department from California basically really strongly encouraged us to cancel or postpone all public meetings. But we think that technically people could have a public meeting of up to 250 attendees. And we're still trying to verify that, because honestly, I've gotten lost in all these orders that have been flying from every direction. So we have chosen to cancel all of our meetings on campus, as most people have. But this might become important as we think about our graduation ceremony. We are now projecting to try to have a graduation ceremony on August 8th. That's going to be depending on if the stay-at-home order has been lifted for colleges and universities, and if that public meetings rule still allows 250 or more people on campus. Even if we were restricted to the 250, we might still be able to have a graduation, because we have over 100 students that graduate that show up. So it's a large meeting. So we're just working through that, just letting you know. We're kind of looking at August the 8th. It might not happen. California is being very careful about how they let things open back up, so that may not happen. If that doesn't happen, then we are looking at some alternatives to a physical graduation, but we'll keep you apprised of that as we move along. We have responded to the accrediting commission. There's a couple of, there was a report and another thing that had to be sent in. I'm being careful because the report itself is under lock and key. It's confidential by their rules until they issue the final result. And so that's why we can't speak too much about it, but we've done everything we need to do. And now we're waiting on the commission to meet in June 10th through the 12th. We will likely be making a comment at that meeting and hoping that we get a good result from the accreditation visit. You might have, I don't know if you've been on the campus or exited from the campus lately, but we have revised the exit lane from the campus based upon the recommendation from the local police department. You may recall that when you leave the campus, you could kind of curve to the left, get around that semicircle. And when you do that, it was nearly impossible to see up the hill to see the oncoming traffic, because what happens when you curve to the left, the pillar in your car and all the stuff that you can't see through gets in your way. So the police department asked us to make it a straight. You go perpendicular to 6th Avenue, and that way you can see very well both ways before you pull out. That's become very important because there is a heck of a lot of traffic on that 6th Avenue now because of the new agricultural facility that's just up the hill from us. The police department also has agreed to put in some flashing lights and some signage, hopefully to advise those people flying down the hill that there are cars entering and they should probably slow down and pay attention. Anyway, we're working on that, but we did our part. We straightened out the exit so that you exit perpendicular to 6th Avenue. And then last, so the last thing was the lights. The city of Blythe has agreed to put up some warning devices up there to help us with that traffic. That's about all I had to report.
All right, well, thank you. Moving right along, Dr. Bauer.
Hello.
Hi.
Good to see everybody. Again, we've submitted a comprehensive report of the activities in the Office of Instruction and Student Services, and I hope you enjoy the reading. I wanted to thank a few people. Again, I participated with the academic standards meeting, and I'm very pleased to hear the report that the academic standards and the academic senate are moving forward with their policy on distance education. That's very important to us. From what we heard when the visiting team left us in March, they did mention that area, and so I'm very pleased that they did that. We are in the process of completing our program review cycle. I want to thank the program review committee. We've got a couple more because we've added quite a few, and we're trying to get to an annual cycle for the non-academic areas. And everybody's been working hard, and I'm very thankful for that group. And I also wanted to reach out and thank the curriculum committee. We've made some progress. Last board meeting, the board approved a new degree program. We have a couple more new degree programs, and there's a couple more in the pipeline. So this quest for the associate degree for transfer with guaranteed transfer to the CSU, we're on track to have 5 to 7 more by the end of the year than we started when I arrived here. So very pleased, and thank everybody's effort for that. Again, and finally, we've been working on Illumin since I got here, and I hear that we're making some more breakthroughs on the student learning outcome component of Illumin, and pretty much have figured out how to adapt our method of evaluating and assessing student learning from a student learning outcome perspective through their system. So we kind of had to modify their system to make it fit ours, and that's coming around, and that should be done. People are still working hard, and again, very pleased with that. So I want to thank all those groups and thank everybody. That's my report.
All right, Dr. Bauer, thank you. Vice President of Administrative Services, Stephanie Slagan.
So we've been busy on campus with construction. Happy to report that construction, at least interior, will be done on campus June 12th, so we can begin putting carpeting and then having the furniture installed. There is still some work to do outside with the handicap stall, parking stalls, and possibly some work on our walkways, but that can be done after we're already beginning to move in. Construction is pretty close to wrapping up in Needles. We think we're going to be done about the same time, if not the end of June. You'll see some change orders on the board agenda for those. We're redoing the roofing at the Needles. It's more of a preventative while we're up there. It's cheaper to do it that way versus go out to bid separately just on the roofing after we've been moved back in. The governor will be releasing the May revise, which we're expecting some large changes from when he spoke in January. There's about a $54 billion deficit that the state has to overcome as of right now. So once I receive that information, we'll incorporate that into the budget workshop so we can give you an in-depth look of what to expect as far as the state level is concerned. With regard to the COVID-19, our M&O department is in the process of acquiring some cordless sterilization equipment that will allow them to go into each classroom and each office and basically spray down and sterilize the environment, making it easy for them to do that on a daily and regular basis, as we're expecting that the governor is going to require us to have a plan in place for that. We're also in the process of acquiring additional PPE. So we're going to be installing, we've already received the items. We're going to install hand sanitizers into all the classrooms. We're stocking up on gloves, masks, the Clorox disinfecting wipes. So all of those things so that when faculty and staff return full time, we'll be able to take care of their needs. Other than that, we're working with the chamber and the city to look at reopening businesses in town and what everyone's doing to help get everybody back up and running. And then our IT department is still assisting everyone remotely. So there has been no lapse in service for that. And we received another round of laptops that Lolly's CAPE program graciously purchased. So we're working on those, getting those out to her and the students. We also received funding through the CARES Act, which is the federal CARES Act. So we received $174,000 that we're going to be able to give grants to students. We're hoping to get that out within the next few weeks. That's direct aid to students. And then we'll be receiving the same amount, which will help us pay for some of those items that we purchased to help convert classes to a distance or correspondence mode. So that means all the laptops we purchased, any software we purchased, we'll be able to reimburse the district and be made whole. So with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dean of the Needle Center, Lolly.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. I don't have that much to say because I've, provided you with a detailed report, and we're just going on along with the appropriate guidelines up here in San Bernardino County, as well as the state, of course. So, and working together with the Blythe campus with Dr. Bauer and Ms. Slagan to figure out how we can help our students up here. And it's an ongoing effort. We did put a mailbox in front of our administration modular as well. So, working with everybody and along with the chamber to assist in any way we can to get everything going. So that's my report. Thank you very much. Any questions?
No, hearing none. All right, down to the Board of Trustees. Let's go with Dr. Thomas.
First, I had to unmute myself. Number one, I'm just very happy that when I went down to Aberson, it was nice to see that they had the box there so that they would be able to turn things in there and everything and make it very convenient for the students and so forth. And seems like everything is going as well as to be expected. And it was not good to get the information from Dr. Wallace about some of the being relaxed in terms of the county allowing us to have some of our, maybe some of our nursing students and some of the others to come in and to get some of the lab things that they need to be able to get their degrees and graduate and so forth. It was good seeing them too when I went out to take the test that they were out there and they were participating in that and making Palo Verde College known that they were actually doing their nursing right there on the spot. And that was very good to see that too. So that's about it.
All right. Ned, hi Duke.
No, sir. Everything's good. Thank you.
All right. Stella Stires.
I just wanted to say thank you for all the community outreach that Palo Verde College has done, and all the departments. Dr. Bauer, your report, everyone's stated that everyone's working really hard, academic senate. I'm just really nice to see everybody still working in trying to stay safe at the same time. And it's stressful, and everybody seems like they're doing a really good job. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Wallace.
So thank you. Angel.
Glad to see everybody good. Everybody's doing well. It's been a hard past week. My mom passed away on Thursday. We buried her yesterday, so it's been kind of hard for.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Other than that, everything's going good. I'm glad to see you guys. That's all I have.
All right.
Wow.
Angel, we're very sorry to hear about your mom.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Gonzalez.
Angel, sorry to hear about your mom.
Thank you, sir.
Now, good news from Dr. Wallace. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be very careful the way he opens up the college. He's going to be very cognitive of the fact that we could have a return of this virus that we have now. But I'm sure he's thinking about that very hard. Thank you, Dr. Wallace. And myself, I keep at home in my workshop. If you have a picture of me here, you can see my fingers. I still have them, but they're wrapped up.
Uh-oh.
Try to stop the table saw blade with my fingers, and it wouldn't work. So everything is fine other than that.
Oh. Okay. Hang in. Dave Rehnquist.
Well, we're getting ready to go up in the mountains for about 5 months. Flagstaff. We have a little place up there.
Right.
And, so I'll be driving back and forth a little more than usual to attend meetings here. But we'll do the best we can. Try not to miss any of them.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get back to normal pretty quick, but it is what it is.
That's it for me.
All right, Dave, thank you. And I actually don't have too much this time, so I'll just move right along to section number 4 of our agenda, which would be 4.1, the Board of Trustees self-evaluation process for 2020. It's basically a discussion, and there's an attachment on this. Does everyone have a chance to look over it, and what kind of questions do we have?
So this is the outline of the timeline for the board evaluation. You see it every year. In April, normally, or we would have asked you if you wanted to do a survey. The board has typically not been interested in doing that, so that gives us extra time to get the other stuff done. So in the next board meeting, we'll have your performance goals and supporting documentation ready for you. The good or bad thing is that through the summer, a lot of these timelines are related to if we were doing a survey and how would we do that. So the next time we do anything substantive is in August. But next time you'll see I'll hand you the document that I normally give you every year, and then you can spend the summer working on that. And
Okay.
when you're back in August, we'll finish her up.
That'll work. Does the board have any questions, comments, or concerns on this topic on 4.1, the evaluation tool?
No, thank you.
We're still using the old form, is that right?
Yeah.
The old new form, the new old form. It's only used it the last couple of years, but yeah. Same form.
The same form, okay.
Yep.
Okay, in that case, we'll move right along to 4.2, the review of the revised board policies and administrative procedures.
So a couple of comments here on BP 2015. This is one that we're required by Education Code to review every year. Last couple of years, we've had some minor tweaks to it. This year, the league hadn't requested or recommended any changes, and we haven't made any changes to it. The board policy, this only needs to be looked at by you once because there are no changes.
Okay.
We did make a minor change to the AP part because there was a typo on it. You can see we took the S off the end of student member because we don't have but one student member.
Okay.
Anyway, so no changes on that one. And we're going to note that the board reviewed it unless you have questions about it. BP 2410, some minor changes here to kind of get it up to date with what we do now. Not too much there. This is your first read on this one. You'll see it again next time.
Okay.
The AP 2410. You see, if you're looking at that, you'll see on letter G, distribution of policies. We've taken out all of that arcane language about making binders and prints and copies and everything that you would do if we didn't have computers.
Yes.
But now that we have the internet and the website, you know, posting it to the website should satisfy all of these sort of binders and copies and everything. So that's why you see that big piece of red in there.
That's fine.
3410, this is a first read on the board policy. I forget exactly why we made these changes, but look them over. If you have questions, we'll answer those next time. This is your first read. The one I want to point out to you is the AP, because it has quite a bit of red in it.
Yeah.
If you look at the AP, nearly the entire procedure has been deleted.
Yes.
The reason for that, if you see that down at the bottom of it where it says see also AP 3435, the league came up with this AP or AP 3435 to house all of those procedural steps. So we've taken them out of this one, we've moved them to the new AP 3435. And if you log into the policies and go to AP 3435, you should see those all over there. And there may have been some minor changes to those as we converted them over, but that's why there's so much of that being cut out. It's just going somewhere else.
Okay.
That's my comments on those.
Dr. Wallace,
Yes.
the AP 3435 is not attached, correct?
No, but if you go to your board policies, it's in
Okay.
there. I mean, the administrative procedures, it's in there.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more questions or comments on 4.2, the revised policies?
No.
All right. If not, we'll move along to information items. Number 5.1, report of purchases and warrants. Everyone's had a chance to review this in its entirety.
Yes, sir.
Questions, comments, concerns? Everyone's right. In that case, move right along. 5.2, under information items would be Board of Trustees training opportunities. We've got plenty of webinars out there. Carrie, did you want to expand on this a little bit?
No, I believe all the information's there.
Yeah, it's all pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
Everyone's had a chance to review these and is very aware of them.
Yes.
All right. In that case, move right along. Section 6, consent items. All right, we need to review and will be up for approval the new and revised course and programs and curriculum changes. Let's catch up on that. Everyone's had a chance to review these and is very aware of them.
Move
Yes.
to approve the consent item.
Okay, guy, that's 6.1, or do you want to, there are consent items, should we get them all together and do them all as one?
Oh,
One
yeah,
consent-
well, 6.3.
Yeah. Okay, in that case, 6.2, personnel actions. Everyone's had a chance to review the hiring of instructional aides for the Child Development Center.
Yep.
Ms. America and Ms. Matthews. If there's no further discussion on those, we'll move on to 6.3. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of 6.1 and 6.2.
So moved.
Second,
We've got a motion and a second. That being that we're on TV and not there where we can just do this, I'll go to Ms. Moyen and ask for an actual vote, please.
Yes, Mr. Arneson,
Yes on both, please.
Mr. Gonzalez,
yes, on all of them.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Stiers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Lal.
Yes.
All right, looks like we carry and move forward. Moving right along then, action item. Business action items number 7. We go to 7.1 would be the Needles renovation change, order number 3 for the 2019 and 20. This is changes to the Needles contract for the construction.
That's a lot of money for Henry's. Holy, my husband does that on my roof and I thought, what? That's a lot of money
Yes, it is.
for
Yeah.
a coat of Henry's.
That's the silicone though. That's silicone coating. So that's,
I know exactly what it is. We use it for our house too.
Oh, all right.
Got that one.
Any at this time I'll entertain a motion for action item number 7.1.
I move.
I've got a motion and a second.
Point of order, who made the second?
Angel.
Thank you.
And- Okay, I've got a motion and a second, so we'll now open that up for further discussion if we need. Stella, do you have any more comments or anything else you wanted to?
No, thank you.
You okay? I hear what you're saying. It's a little chunk right there.
Yeah, it seems.
It's a little chunk. I hear you. Okay, well, hearing no other conversation, we'll now move along to a vote. Ms. William?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Stiers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Lal.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Number 7.2 on our agenda this evening is change order number 4 for the 2019-2020 Needles renovation project, carrying another nice little figure. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move.
We've got a motion from Gonzalez and a second from Mr. Rehnquist.
Thank you.
All right, so we're now open for discussion on 7.2. Questions, comments, concerns? And again, I know it's a nice little chunk of money, but here we go.
Mhm.
All right, hearing no further discussion, Ms. Moyen?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk, Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Stiers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right, moving right along on number 7.3. Change order for the 2019 through 03 College Services Building. All right. This time we'll entertain a motion.
I move.
I've got a motion from Mr. Gonzalez.
Second.
I've got a second from Mr. Rehnquist. All right. No questions, comments, concerns. Looks like we got to switch some electrical around is what it looks like, the change in this one. Further questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Stiers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right. 7.4, contract for architectural services, Silman Wright Architects. This time we'll entertain a motion.
I move.
I've got a motion from Mr. Gonzalez,
Second.
a second from Mr. Rehnquist. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, discussion.
A lot of work there.
A lot of work. These are the contracts doing the renovations for the business services building. All right. Hearing no further conversation. Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Stiers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right. Number 7.5, the real estate purchase agreement for the CDC property. The board notes that Dr. Thomas has recused himself from this at the prior segment of this agenda. So this time I'll entertain a motion.
I move.
Second.
I've got a motion from Mr. Gonzalez and a second from Mr. Ramirez. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns, things we need to know about, things we need more information on this topic?
A good project for kids.
Yeah. All right. Any other conversation, questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Stiers,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
Okay. We're moving forward with property purchase. Moving right along. Action item number 8 is personnel. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to open action item number 8.1.
I move.
We got a motion
Second.
from Mr. Gonzalez and a second from Mrs. Stiers. All right, questions, comments, or concerns on 8.1, which is a approval contract renewal for the administration. That'd be Mr. Ramin, Mrs. Seasai, Dr. Seasai, Dr. Bauer, and Mr. Koppel. Questions, comments, or concerns?
They worked for it. They got it.
They worked diligently, yes. Hearing none. Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Stiers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right. Number 8.2, the MOU with PVCFA CTA for the additional compensation for Ashley Davis. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I move.
I've got a motion from Mr. Gonzalez.
Second,
I've got a second from Angel, from Mr. Ramirez.
that's same.
All right. Any questions, comments, concerns, or further conversation we need to have regarding this? Everyone's gone through this diligently. Hearing none. Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right. 8.3, the MOU for the PVCFA CTA for additional compensation for the CTE facility. This deals with the welding technologies building, the computer information systems. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open.
Move to approve.
I've got a motion for Mrs. Stiers. Second.
Second.
I've got a second for Mr. Rehnquist. All right. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns regarding 8.3? Hearing none. Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
Okay. 8.4, faculty tenure track. The following list, you've got on the tenure track, you've got Maria Lopez, Cesar Lozoya, Nadia Patel, Raciel Melki, Angelica Bravo Ritchie, Adriana Rosalind Martin, Ashley Davis, Jennifer Foe Campbell, Comedia Headage, George Martinez, Ivanka I've butchered the last name on the last one.
Move to
Move to
approve.
This time I'll entertain a motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right. I've got a motion from Dr. Thomas and a second from
Rehnquist.
Mr. Rehnquist. Questions, comments, or concerns?
How
Hearing
many-
none.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hearing none. Ms. Millian?
No, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yes.
How often are these people evaluated?
Annually.
Annually?
Yes.
One time an annual, during the year?
Once a year,
Once a year?
That's required by education code.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it should be twice a year. But I was
Okay.
there. But I was there. Remember that, Rehnquist?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Sweat it out every time.
Okay, that's my question.
Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that. My battery is dying. I've asked my son to run upstairs and grab the charger. The video takes a bit more than just the agenda and Microsoft Word. Sorry about that. All right, moving right along. Action item, agenda item number 9. Number 9.1 is approval of the Equal Employment Opportunity Plan for the 20 through 2023. No, surface program.
Move to approve.
We've got a
Second.
motion from Dr. Thomas and a second from Mr. Gonzalez. Questions, comments, or concerns? Everyone's had an opportunity to review this?
Yes.
And if not, Ms. Millian?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
Okay, 9.2 EEO fund, multiple method allocation, certification from 2019 to 2020. This time I'll entertain a motion.
I move.
I've got a motion from Mr. Gonzalez, a second.
Second.
I've got a second from Mr. Rehnquist. Is there any further discussion on this? Questions, comments, or concerns?
Do we do this every year, Dr. Wallace?
I beg your pardon?
The certification, do we?
I see
Huh?
Ceci, who does this, is nodding her head north and south, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Thank you. Just requirement.
Okay. I've got a motion and a second. Questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none. Ms. Moyen?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
Okay, moving right along. 9.3, approval of the resolution Thank you. Yeah, about the grant extension. Hang on, I got to get plugged in. All right. Approval of the resolution in recognition of Faculty Appreciation Week. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to
I move.
approve.
I've got a motion. I need a second.
Second.
All right. Carrie, you okay there?
yes.
Okay. In that case, is there any further questions, comments, or concerns?
I think very deserving of their teachers, that are faculty that have so much on their plate right now, and especially with this pandemic that's going on, keeping up with the students. I compliment them. They well deserve it.
Me as well, and thank you. Ms. Moyen?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right. 4, approval of resolution recognition of classified school employee week, May 17th, 23rd, 2020. This time I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Got a motion from Ms. Dyers, a second.
Second.
A second from Dr. Thomas. Questions, comments, concerns, further discussion?
None.
Hearing none. Ms. Moyen?
Mr. Arneson,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Mr. Hyduk,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes.
Mr. Rehnquist,
Yes.
Ms. Dyers,
Yes.
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Law,
Yes.
All right. Take care of the business. Moving right along, then, hearing of citizens on non-agenda items. We have none. Noted. All right, that brings us to closed session, and we have no closed session this evening. It's my understanding.
I did that in 55 minutes.
In that case, that brings us down to item number 12. We will adjourn. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody for participating in the meeting, and I know I'm doing it on the computer and I'm trying to deal with 2 computers here, and it's difficult format. But thank everybody for all the work they do. And Dr. Wallace, thank you to you and everybody at the college. Just main keeping things up. Dr. Barr, Ms. Legan, you as well. Ms. Lolly, I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good day, afternoon, and a good week.
Yes.
coming up.
You too.
Behave yourself.
Take care.